With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Free audio post-production by Alphonic.com.
You are listening to the Let's Chat Soon podcast. We are so excited that you are embarking on this journey with us. Let's Chat Soon is a space where we chat all things body, soul, and spirit. And when you align all three, you unlock a full life. A healthy you is the best version you can give to.
Is the best gift.
A healthy you is the best gift you can give to grow the kingdom and to those you love.
Welcome back to another week's episode. I'm your host, Mackenzie.
And I'm your host, Alexis.
Okay, question of the day today.
Hit me.
Do you think right person, wrong time can happen?
Oh, I was just talking about this.
Really?
Yeah. Right person, wrong time. I want to say no because I'm like, if they're your person and God has them to be your person, then it's going to work. But also we have free will. So like you can mess up God's plan. I don't know.
So do you believe there's one person out there for you?
I used to think, yeah. I think, yes, in the sense of like God knows your life and he has that one person. So kind of, yeah. But I don't think I think you can be compatible with many other people.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a thing where it's like you miss him. Like you're going to miss over the right person.
I think you could like mess up your life and go on a different path and then the people that were meant for you will never find you.
Yeah, it's fair actually. And then you end up marrying the wrong person.
Yeah. There's like a story about a guy in a sailboat and he's like saying to God, like, God, please save me. God, please save me. And then a boat comes up. Or no, he's on a house and it's like raining or flooding. And then he's like, God, please save me. And a boat rolls up and he's like, hey, like, I'll save you. Like, get on my boat. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'm asking God for help. So the boat leaves. And then a helicopter comes like, hey, grab this rope. Like, I'll save you. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'm like asking for God to help. And then another person comes. Anyways, long story short, the guy ends up drowning and the person's like, God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, I sent a boat. I sent a helicopter. So I feel like people can be set in our life and sometimes we miss them, like miss our chance with them.
Right.
I don't know. That's a hard question because I don't like the answer for either.
But I don't think it's in the sense of like, okay, yeah, I've been really, like, beginning of my 20s, I was really stupid. Definitely not walking in the will of God. I don't think like, oh, he let you meet your husband at that point in time. Like, oh, you missed him.
That's true. I don't think so either. I hope not.
And I also think you could quote unquote marry the wrong person, but if you both like come to the Lord and like walk in righteousness, that could become the right person.
Yeah. I think you can make it work either way.
I don't know. It's a loaded question. But I do think
You said this was an easy question.
I did, because there's not a wrong answer to like, is there a right person, wrong time? Because I honestly think there can be a right person, wrong time.
Yes, I think so too, because that person could be your person, but you might not be ready. And that's just you like taking a different path.
Right. And it's like, oh, that could have been God's plan if I would have been ready then.
Right.
But instead, we're both going to walk in a different direction. Like, I'm going to not marry this person or end up with this person for this season because I wasn't ready or something like that. So now I have a different plan. Like,
Yeah.
it's a totally different person.
Totally different. Yeah.
And obviously, like, if you believe in, wow, not just getting to like predestination on our opening thing, but if you believe in predestination, it's like, okay, then that was like the Lord's will. But in theory, the other one could have been the Lord's will if you don't believe in predestination and you believe that free will is stronger than predestination. Predestination is an interesting topic, and I've gotten in so many debates.
Same. I go back and forth because it's like, yes, I believe there's a plan, but also there has to be free will. Otherwise, none of this would matter. Like,
but God's all knowing, right? Yeah, God's all knowing.
He knows ultimately, but I think he knows if we're gonna make a decision. But that still seems like predestination.
Yeah,
but it's like, then what's the point of making any decisions if it's like, oh, God already knows what I'm gonna do? Like, doesn't matter.
Because he's all knowing, he's not all controlling.
Yeah.
He lets us have the free will. I think that's my argument for predestination.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
A
That was
very
a lot.
heavy.
That was a
sorry,
lot.
sorry,
oh my
guys.
gosh, we're like talking about something chill today. Not really, but
We're really talking skincare in today's episode, and we just started off with, can you miss your person, and is predestination a thing?
it's crazy.
To say we're multifaceted, when people ask us, like, what is this podcast about? I'm like, girl, I don't know.
I know. I never know. I'm like,
Health and wellness.
but also all the things.
What the heck is under that
Oh,
umbrella?
I have a question for you.
Okay. Oh, man. Here we go, guys.
This is going to lighten the mood. Should a man spend his time... Let me set the scene. He comes home from work. He's making dinner. He pulls out his phone. He clicks on the little white app with the H black lettering on it. And he starts with his little finger, making little twitches, swiping away, looking for his future wife on a dating app. What do you think about that?
We were talking about this right before, you guys, of like the thought of a man swiping through pictures of women.
I can't with
I
it.
can't imagine that. I had a guy tell me that, like, if a man has time to be swiping on a dating app, he's not making enough money and
Oh.
he's not working hard enough.
100%.
And now I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
I think it's okay for us to do it. There's so many scenarios where girls get the pass. It's okay for the girls to do it.
But then if we're saying this, then there's no good guys on there.
That is so valid. I don't like dating apps. They scare the living crap out of me. I don't know. I'm just like, I pray I'll meet my husband in the wild, but
Yeah. I'm now thinking about multiple exes because I met my last boyfriend on a dating app, and now I'm just sitting thinking, because I know he's already on dating apps too. So I'm just sitting thinking of him like doing that. And I'm like,
No.
oh,
I have the ick, like the ultimate ick. Oh, like sends shivers down my spine.
literally. And part of me's like, dating
what
apps
is
are like
he
tee silly
thinking?
and like a joke.
Yeah, they're like fun. And like no shame, because I have friends that have like married people off dating
Same.
apps. Like that's great. We're mostly like joking, but it's just like
It's just funny
it's
to
just one of those
picture.
activities that a man it's just cringy to think about. There's a long list though for me. And also I feel like I'm in like not a man hating era, but just like boys just like give me the ick easily.
I was even, so I like literally downloaded Hinge for like all of maybe 3 minutes yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
mostly to get on Asia and just like see what's over there. And I was sitting there swiping, and I like repeated those words that guy said to me of like men who are on dating apps, like they're not making enough money because they're not working hard enough.
Mhm.
And I literally within those 3 minutes was like, I could be doing so much more with these 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I could be like, even though it was literally just 3 minutes. And I think about the amount of time that people spend on dating apps, kind of treating it like an extra social media. And I know not everyone does that, but at least for me, when I was on dating apps, I feel like I would just be like scrolling and swiping and whatever else. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go on Girl Boss instead.
Yeah.
But again, that's us tapping into our masculine energy, which we will talk about in upcoming podcast episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot.
Don't take it from us.
Don't
We're
take
like,
it from
we
us.
just got out of relationships. We're like, no boys allowed. so-
No boys allowed. Boys like give us the ick in general right now.
It's yeah.
There's no easy.
Like go build a shed or something. Like why are you swiping? I don't know. I hope I'm not offending anyone. Anyways,
I looked at, because I thought more men actually listen to our show because we like to subscribe random men that we meet, but they don't.
no, our ratio is not what it was like
A
2%.
ratio- Yeah.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
No, I actually think it was like 7,
Oh, whoa.
but still.
Sorry to use 7% that I'm just like,
It's all the people we've like made subscribe to our episodes. And, like,
Yeah.
they don't actually listen. Maybe some of them do.
hey, if you do.
Hey. Sorry, we trash you. We love you.
Eh.
No, I have to stick up for myself here. I do love men because this was one of the reasons I got broken up with, guys. Literally, there was
you hate all men.
a very long list of reasons I got broken up with, and one of which was that I hate all men.
That's
but like
crazy.
the girls know that I'm joking, but apparently guys don't. Like when I'm like, tee, I hate all men.
But like, shouldn't your mans want you to be like, I don't like other men besides you?
You would think.
You would like think that he'd be like, yeah, like that's right.
You would think. I mean,
I get in trouble because I have like a flirty personality and people think I'm like flirting with my guy friends. And I'm like, I'm just joking around. Just like, I'm just being nice to everyone. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like I had so many guy friends who I was pretty close with, but it kind of was a little bit flirty. So I kind of pulled back on those relationships when I was in a romantic relationship. I guess I shouldn't have. I should have kept him around.
That's crazy.
Should have kept hanging out with boys alone.
That's
Make me a bad girlfriend too.
Literally.
Whatever. You can't win.
You can't win them all.
You can't win any of them. I love all men. That's what I'm trying to get my point across. I love men. Men are the coolest.
We can just keep going with that. I'm just gonna keep going with I hate men and they're icky, stinky, and smelly.
Oh man. Okay. Sorry for the longest tangent ever. Now we're getting into skincare. And Alexis is pretty much going to run to this episode because I feel like my story with my skin, I struggled a lot with it. But I feel like when I dove into health and wellness as a concept, as a practice, started detoxing normally, my skin healed along with everything else that healed. So I don't really have a specific story of like, I did this to heal my skin, whereas yours was kind of your driving factor.
Yeah. I didn't really have any other symptoms that I noticed besides my skin. And I probably did underlying, but like the skin just stood out to me because it was so bad that I was like, we got to get rid of this.
Okay, first let's get into the fact of your skin being your warning sign that your health was not good. Because I feel like a lot of people talk on social media right now. They're like, oh, my skin, like it's normal. It's normal to have acne. And yes, to an extent, like we all have a little bit of hormonal acne. Like I still get it. You still get it every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also a warning sign. And I feel like people ignore warning signs, whether it be skin, whether it be extra weight, whether it be inflammation. And we just kind of like, as our body positive society, we put the blanket statement on of like, it's fine, it's normal, accept yourself. And sometimes that's hurting our health.
Yes. 100% agree. I think I love the positivity around you're still beautiful with acne. There's nothing wrong with you. The biggest thing is too, nobody sees it as much as you see it. It's your skin. You're looking in the mirror. You feel it. I promise you, I have friends that are like, oh, I'm struggling so bad with acne. And I'm like, that is not what I see. But even though when I was struggling, I didn't want to leave the house because I was like, as soon as I'm talking to someone, that's probably the only thing that they're looking at because it's just like right in your face. That's not the case. But I do agree with you where I see videos all the time like, oh, acne's normal. Like, this is what real skin looks like. No, not at all. Like, that is not what your skin is supposed to look like. That is 100% your body telling you something is severely wrong on the inside. And so, I think it's very detrimental to us as a whole, like as a society, that we're like spreading that information because your skin is your largest organ. That's like the last sign where it's like, okay, something is literally wrong. Like, if I can look back at my history, I probably had little signs leading up to like my breakout because it was so night and day as well. Like my skin was kind of fine. And then within 2 weeks to a month, it was just like raging cystic acne. I can probably look back and be like, oh, I was having some stomach issues or I was having some bloating or some mood swings or some irritability or like not remembering things right. But like those weren't as big of red flags to me as like my skin just being crazy.
Right.
And I think that was like the final step. And that's the hardest step to clear too, because if you let your body get so sick in that way, it can be longer to heal that.
Yeah. I think one of the most detrimental things in society right now is the fact that we don't know how to draw the line in the sand of what is the difference between health and what is the difference between beauty.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, we're going to see the effects of it in a few years, like once our generation does get a little bit older, as we kind of are playing this, it's like it literally has nothing to do with your physical appearance.
No.
Like healing your skin or not is not necessarily even about healing your skin. It's about healing your body.
Yeah.
And making sure your body's good. And yes, your body gives you warning signs that come off like physical things. But honestly, it probably does that because we don't want to walk around with inflamed acne. We don't want to walk around with puffy skin. And it's our bodies kind of being like, hey, I'm going to give you something that you don't necessarily think is attractive because I'm trying to heal you.
Yeah.
Like I want you to heal yourself. But yeah, society is just kind of made it super weird of if you prioritize your health and if you try to get rid of acne or try to get rid of your weight, you're not being body positive and you're not loving yourself. You got to love your health as much as you love your appearance too. Honestly, more.
I'm honestly so grateful that I had the skin issues because even like I remember when I started clearing my acne a little bit and then an event would come up or like a trip would come up and I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like I can have some of these foods that I know are going to break me out. I'll just deal with the breakout later. And like I almost became accustomed to it and fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until my doctor, like when I finally went to see my doctor, and was like, okay, I will do anything to heal this. When he said, he was like, when do you want to have children? I was like, well, I want to be healthy enough to have them whenever I want to. Like, I don't know my timeline, but like I'm hoping before 30, before I'm 40, like sometime in the future. Anyways. And he was like, this is why people have infertility issues. Like you are a classic sign of somebody that in the future will have infertility issues because your body is like reacting autoimmune. Your body has gut issues. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm doing this for my future kids. Like it was like, it's not even about the appearance anymore.
Yeah.
It is so much deeper. And I think I agree with like everything you're saying about our society making it a body positivity thing versus a health thing. I've seen that with like the weight stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like 5 to 10 years ago. And I was like, ooh, that's a slippery slope. Like, yes, you are still beautiful. Yes, you are still worthy, but you are unhealthy.
Right.
Like,
I want to be able to, I'm very similar in, I feel like your skin issues are very similar to my gaining weight and getting muscle issues of I don't have the strength to get up. I don't have the strength to run away from a guy with a gun. I'm not going to have the strength to hold kids at church or hold my future kids. And it's like, at what cost am I putting being positive about the way that I look if it's just honestly a mental shift that's helping me? And honestly, I don't know if it always does help you.
And it's not. It's like a Band-Aid. I feel like that we just like tell ourselves. It's a lie that we're telling ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
I feel like this episode might get some hate, but
that's fine. Like, I will be the friend or the person that's straight to your face and be like, you need to change. Because I don't want to see you get sick with a chronic disease. I don't want to see you get cancer. I don't want to see you die. Like, I love you enough to tell you you are sick and unhealthy and you need to fix it.
And honestly, can we call it what it is? It's selfish.
It is.
It is so selfish to not take care of your health. It is so selfish because your loved ones are going to be the ones taking care of you, of paying for you. And it is going to fall on the people who did take care of themselves because they're going to be the ones who have strength and the energy and everything else. And we can talk about it in that way, but we can also talk about it in a financial way too. Because when I talk about and think back to the brain fog that I used to get when my health wasn't good, I had no motivation to work. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. And now I have such clear direction and feel like I have the opportunity to make so much more money. I don't want to have to pull the slack for everyone else.
Yeah. No, that's a really good perspective. I haven't thought about it from that angle a lot, but yeah, that is I agree with you.
Okay, so let's get into specifics of what you individually did for your skin because I feel like it's very different than what I see everywhere online or what I see from dermatologists of do this, I did this. And I feel like when you recommend out products, a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, well, I did it and it didn't work. So I'm just throwing in the towel. Yeah.
I can tell you, you could name a list of every...
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
How I healed my acne, and I've probably tried it. I tried everything under the sun. But it wasn't until I went to a holistic doctor and got lab testing to see what was actually happening inside of my body, specific to me, not anybody else, that moved the needle for me. So it wasn't the crazy skincare routines. It wasn't the carnivore diet. It wasn't exercising less or more. Like it was, I did labs that were very specific to what was happening inside my body that told a story. And then I corrected based off that story. So we did... I'll get into like specific a little bit, but I'm not going to go into like all of it because I think at the end of the day, it's a who, not how. So I was listening to people on their internet trying these different things. They're not experts. Like we need to stop listening to like
Susan, which is why we're recommending out tests.
Yes. Literally. Like when you finish the second part of the health coaching and you can run tests, amazing. You're an expert in that. I'm not even expert in it, being a nurse. I don't work with these tests. That's why I didn't even trust myself. I went and found somebody who does this for a living and is a powerhouse knowledge to get the results I wanted.
Yeah.
So we did
For starters, what kind of doctor did you go and see, and how did you find them? Because I feel like that's a tricky first step too.
Yeah, so functional medicine, holistic. I found him, I think, through like work, social media. I'm not exactly sure how. But I would like Google research, talk to people. I think the key words you want to look for are like functional doctor or holistic doctor, somebody that's going to find the root cause.
Mm-hmm.
And you will know within the first 5 minutes of talking to someone. Because I would see dermatologists, I would see gynecologists, and I would tell them my issues. I even saw my regular MD doctor, and they would prescribe Accutane, they would prescribe birth control. I would talk about foods and like different things like, well, have you heard of this? They had no idea what I was talking about. So you'll know within the first 5 minutes if they're trying to slap medication on your issues and they're not asking questions to get you to the root cause or like raising concern. I wouldn't go to them. They're not going to help.
Yeah, I would say 90% of time, if within that first meeting appointment, they're saying the word medication, period.
Yeah, no,
it's probably go somewhere else.
I would run. That's a Band-Aid, and that's not getting to the root cause, and that's not going to help you long term.
Right.
Because I tried all of that. I tried spironolactone. I tried birth control. I tried to get on Accutane, and it was literally, I feel like, God's intervention because it took me 3 months to get the medication. Because when you go on Accutane, you basically have to do a bunch of labs. You have to take a pregnancy test, and then you have to wait a month until you actually get the medication. And the doctor's office that I was going through kept like missing files and like mixing up my tests, and so it would push my Accutane start date out a month every time.
Wow.
And finally I was like, okay, this is a sign, like I'm not supposed to take this. It's a very scary drug in my opinion. But yeah, we did 3 different tests. So one of them was the Nutri-Eval. So that one basically tests like all my vitamin deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, just seeing like what was going on, antioxidant levels. We did the GI effects, which goes over like my gut microbiome, what that looks like. And then we did a food sensitivity. Mm-hmm. And that is basically if my body is attacking or reacting to different foods. And all of those together told like a whole picture story. I think doing just one of them, like would have like been missing other parts, but obviously I didn't know that. I went and saw somebody that knew exactly what to prescribe me for the tests, and he took care of all of that. After we kind of had the whole story of what was going on inside my body and could see like the full picture with all the lab test results, my doctor wrote out a plan. So we did a lot of supplementation that was specific again to my labs. Like I don't want to recommend these supplements because they're not going to be for everyone. That is like my biggest message here. Biggest takeaway is you need to find the root cause specific to you because it's not going to be the same for everyone. You could have a yeast problem. You could have an autoimmune problem like I had. There's like so many different things that could be causing the same symptoms. So we did the supplementation. I was on like a 4-month protocol for that. Also, I was allergic or like attacking sensitive to a lot of different foods. So I followed a paleo diet as well as cutting out the foods I was sensitive to. Again, you might not need to do that. I was allergic to like beef, dairy, soy, gluten. You might be allergic to avocados and pineapple. Like it's going to be so specific to you. I know I keep saying that, but I just want to reiterate it because
nobody
that's,
does.
The bottom line. Yeah. Bottom line. And then it was a lot of overall wellness. So I would say I didn't even add a lot of wellness things or wellness hacks. I took away a lot. So my biggest thing, I think that was the driving factor was stress related. It's kind of funny because now I'm kind of all over the place. You see me, you're like, girl, you need to work on that still. And it's a work in progress. But at the time when I was healing for like my 4 months, I was super focused on my sleep. I wore a Whoop every night. So I was tracking that, super focused on hydration, super focused on my stress levels. I cut back in like my work a little bit just to like have a balance in my life so I could focus because it was literally almost like a part-time job. I was tracking everything I ate. I had to meal prep. I didn't eat out anywhere. I couldn't even do like coffee or alcohol. So like I was very strict and focused on the healing aspect. And that's another thing I want to reiterate is if you choose to heal this way, which I believe is the only way that you will truly get better, it is going to take a lot of work. And I don't think people are ready for that a lot of times or know that. But the doctor puts out the plan. It's very different. So like Western medicine, you go to the doctor for them to do something to you, give a medication, do a procedure. In the holistic world or the functional medicine world, you go to the doctor to be guided and then you put in the work. So it's a lot. Like you are taking control. You have autonomy of your lifestyle and your life. So yeah, it was a lot of adding simple things like sauna, cold plunge, taking away hard workouts. I was doing like kind of crazy weightlifting and running combined. Stopped doing that. Did a lot of more, still weightlifting, but not just like as aggressive. And then, yeah, just focused on like being home, cooking my meals at home, being with family, just like the basics of stress, eating, sleeping, hydration. Yeah. And that's kind of what did it. It's funny because my doctor was like, "Ooh, this is going to be around the holidays. Like, this is going to be a little tough," because I had so many food restrictions. But honestly, it was great because everyone's home. I was around my family. Like, it was probably the best time, honestly, looking back, that I could have went through that, because then when the new year hit, I was like, all right, my skin's doing better. I feel great. Like, I kind of have put in the work. Now I'm ready to go. And it was like, it was a cool reset for me. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Also, during that time frame, I was seeing a holistic esthetician. So there is a big difference there too, I believe. I would go get crazy procedures done, like lasers, burning my face off, trying every acid and boiling, and like literally I thought I had to rip away like the acne from my skin. Like
prior, not the holistic
prior.
one.
No. Yeah, this is prior. This is before I went on like this whole like, okay, root cause holistic journey. I had this one procedure done one time. It's called like BBL or something. Not Brazilian butt lift, but for your face. I have like a very high pain tolerance. I would have tears like streaming down. They would use these lasers when my acne was like at its peak, where I had like open wounds on my face. Lasers that like penetrated my skin. Oh, the most excruciating pain. Like, to tell you, like, I've done everything. And seeing a holistic esthetician where we did like lymphatic drainage massages on my face. At first I was like, there's no way this is going to help. Like, you're like barely touching my skin. Like, what do you mean? Like, wasn't doing extractions, like literally nothing. My skin has never looked better, like, after seeing her.
Yeah.
She was like nano needling. And I'm like, that's not even like going to do anything. Like, she's going to listen to this and be like, what? You doubted me, girl? But yeah, because I'm like, I came from like laser firing my face off to like gently tapping it. But that's what helped.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like the high intensity versus low intensity things.
Yes.
It's like sometimes the low intensity things move the needle more.
It is. That 100%. I am such like a competitive and like, let's go balls to the wall, like do the hardest thing possible. And that was, I think, a lesson I learned like through this whole healing process was no, like that's not how you approach everything in life. Like, it's actually like stepping away.
Yeah.
And doing like the easier.
And that translates to literally every aspect of health. I feel like every single health journey, it's like you were saying, the process of doing so, of like healing yourself, it's something you have to commit to, but it's not this like insane, crazy thing. And I feel like certain times people look at it and are like, oh, this is so much. But like once you fall in love with the process, you fall in love with the process. And it doesn't seem like this big thing of like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I have to do this. You change the perspective because your body feels good of like, I get to do this. Yeah. And this is so nice. Yeah. And it's not, here I'm taking pain meds and, oh, I don't know about the side effects, or, oh, I'm doing this and I don't know, or my skin's burning off or whatever else. It's, okay, I'm making this into my routine and it's not something I'm going to do for, like, it's something that's going to last.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Circling back to the esthetician, I wasn't looking for an esthetician because I knew the major things that needed to be fixed were internal. But I kind of fell into meeting her and I was like, whatever, like a facial would be nice. Let's have like a consultation. And within that first consultation, she asked me questions like, what are you eating? Like, give me like a food log. Like, are you taking any supplements? Give me your list of supplements. I can see if any of them cause acne. So like, I knew within the first 5 minutes, oh, you're taking also a different approach, which I never thought as an esthetician they would care about those things or matter, but she completely was looking at the whole picture as well.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, you could also be a holistic esthetician. Like, this is crazy.
Mhm.
And I knew all the products she would recommend were non-toxic because she was asking me all those types of questions as well. Like, okay, what shampoos are you using? What facial products are you using right now? Like that kind of stuff. And so I also let her, like, I used the who not how method where I just listened to her. I trusted her. I think it's a lot about like when you're finding doctors or people to help you heal, you're going to be super critical in like the interview process almost. Like you're literally interviewing them.
Mhm.
And then once you trust them and you know that they are going to lead you on the right track, you're letting them guide you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like I am like, tell me what products I need, tell me what I need to do, tell me the routine. And she laid out everything for me. And I literally like trust her with my life. She taught me how to like do the lymphatic drainage. She taught me how to facial cup, the facial massage, like everything I do in my like non-toxic routines, I've learned from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's great. So
That's
just wanna give that
awesome.
little snippet.
We're going to need to link her down below.
Yeah, I definitely will. And I get a lot of messages about skincare. And she can do like consultations because basically she uses a product that you can only order through an esthetician because it's like an MD version.
Mhm.
And she can do like virtual consultations and then order people's skincare through that.
Okay.
So she can give all the knowledge on the company. Again, like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I just trust her because
Mhm.
she's the expert in this scenario. But yeah, the stuff that I use, it's very gentle, which again, before I thought I needed like acid to burn my face off. And this is like the opposite of that. It's a lot of oils and serums.
Mhm.
And I'm like, there's no way this is going to be good for acne. It's amazing.
Amazing.
I love it.
That's so good. Okay, wrapping up. If someone's struggling with acne right now, where would you tell them like to start? I know we just went through like a lot, but
Mhm.
I guess kind of like key takeaways, encouragement.
Yeah, I would say what I feel like I've been saying 100 times, which is getting annoying, but find someone that's going to help you find the root cause.
Mhm.
I think you need to get off Instagram. I think you need to stop scrolling on acne videos and solutions. And I think you need to get on ChatGPT and find a functional holistic doctor near you
Mhm.
and just have a consultation. A lot of them do like free calls. Just call them, start asking questions, start the interview process, tell them what you're going through, and go from there.
Everything health wise. Ask
Mhm.
questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions. Literally like go into all of this stuff and just be a lifelong learner
Mhm.
for your own sake, but even just like knowledge around this area, because if you're not struggling with it, someone else will. Like
yeah.
every single contact you can get in the holistic space, these people are obsessed with this stuff and they just want to pour out their knowledge.
Mhm.
So you're not like paying these people to ask them questions either. So
Yeah.
continue to do it.
Yeah, agreed. That's the start. Like once you find somebody, a doctor, they're going to put you on the path, like I said. So
I think the best thing we can do in any advice we give on this show is really give you the first step. I've had people say
Yeah.
that even with like candida overgrowths or parasite things. Like we are not experts,
Yeah.
trying to be in a lot of ways, but also I feel like unless I'm specifically going to be your health coach or going to be a whatever in some
Mhm.
certain area, like we are responsible to give you step one. And I hope we can give you the encouragement in that too
yeah.
and prepare you for what it's kind of like the process is going to kind of look like. But yeah, I feel like this was a great episode of giving good knowledge, but also not saying, here's step by step exactly what to do.
Yeah. I don't want to tell you because, again, it's going to be so specific to you and your body and your blood type and how
Mhm.
your composition is made up. Like, yeah, you got to figure out that for yourself. And that's through seeing a doctor and getting testing done.
Yeah. But I hope if you guys are struggling with acne, honestly, I feel like everything you were sharing, you're grateful that it showed up in some way because it might help your fertility. Like that's
I would have
huge.
never known that my gut biosis was so bad and I had so many bacterial overgrowths.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Also, I think too, like we live in a world where it's like hot girls are bloated, or what's the saying? Like hot girls have stomach issues. So that's also normalized. And like, I don't know. I'm just living my life. I'm not paying attention unless it's like actually disrupting something.
Yeah.
But
Stop normalizing discomfort.
that's not.
Stop
it's-
normalizing discomfort. It's not normal. We are not meant to live these half-filled lives. You're not meant to feel tired and have brain fog and discomfort and inflamed skin and stomach issues at 25 years old.
Yeah.
You're simply not. Like even at 45, 55, 60, like we are not meant to live these lives where we're just like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm drained. Like another day, I'm getting older, I'm getting whatever. Like,
Girl, now what?
no, Literally not at all.
Mm-mm.
It's a process for sure, but it's a process that is so freaking worth it.
Mhm.
So
I
worth
agree.
it. So I hope this episode encouraged you guys in some way, shape, or form. Thanks for listening and hopping on. If this is your first episode to watch, make sure to subscribe below. We are so happy that you're here.
I walked through this and I know that the journey is really long and can get really kind of just sad sometimes. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but just know if you're on a path of healing and you're taking the way that's actually going to make a difference and move the needle and find what's actually wrong with you, that you're going to be so grateful in the end and you're going to get through it. You are still beautiful in this process, but just know that it's not normal and it will all pass. I promise.
Yeah, it's just temporary. So you've got it. What is that? What am I saying?
You
got it,
girl. But also I want to say, like, my DMs are open. I might take a month to respond. I'm bad at texting.
She takes a month to respond back to my text, so
Yeah.
it's not you.
It's not you.
It's her.
But send me a voice message. I will hopefully see it and respond to you guys and just try to give encouragement. And if you have any specific questions too, like, ask and we're there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll try to link as much as we can below, her esthetician, access to these labs, all of the different things. But we love you guys and let's chat soon.
Bye.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.